Welcome to the March 23rd, 2021 episode of Reactive Consciousness, the in-depth podcast about what happened this week in our lives. I'm your host, vysethebold, and this is...
Lotus Prince.
And we have a show that is full of juicy news, like craziness happened this week. And some of it, happened, the day after recording. It just always happens either, Sunday night or Monday.
Yeah, I mean, our problem with this is that, video game releases are often on Tuesdays. So, too bad.
Yeah, but, it's usually not a surprise. It's just been happening like that lately.
Yeah.
Video game releases are I feel like the best stuff has been surprises lately.
Probably the thing I'm most interested in this entire podcast today happened, the day after we recorded last week's podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame that, in order for this show to be, timely, it would need to happen every day.
Yeah.
And unfortunately we just can react, and that's why it's reactive.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's why it's called that, Lotus.
You're some kind of genius.
I've ever told you the meaning of our show.
No, I thought it just meant that we were awake because we were conscious.
No.
Oh.
But right off the top, probably the biggest news of the week is that EVO, the largest fighting game tournament in the entire world, was purchased by Sony. So yeah, that was really weird and out of nowhere.
Now Dead or Alive 6 is for sure never going to be playable.
Yeah, there was there wasn't even an inkling of that, and that was so. This is a pretty big. This is a really big deal, and it's complicated as to my reaction to it because the fighting game community does not have the best, to say the least, track record of things like sexual harassment, and running the tournament in a way where everybody feels comfortable. That is, EVO has had problems over the years, including that Dead or Alive stuff. I mean, mostly the Dead or Alive thing was a problem because of the press conference that they had that was really bizarre.
Yeah.
That included, wardrobe malfunction if you look hard enough, by one of the presenters. So
I just couldn't understand what they meant when they were trying to explain their breast physics. This has never come up in the previous 4 games they've released.
Yeah, no, this was just nutty.
I really needed to understand that breast physics are a thing.
Yeah,
because I missed out on that for the past 10 years. I had no idea that existed.
And that's really a shame because DOA is so much more than that.
It's a very good fighting game.
Yeah, it is so much more than that, and I would be really embarrassed if I was a dev, because that obviously is part of the kitsch of it, but I mean they could sell it just based on that. It doesn't need to be as good as it is, but it is really good. It's a finely tuned game. It may not be as technical as the other big 3D fighters. It probably has a simpler system, but it's still a lot of fun and it's still really well put together and well balanced. So yeah. It's a shame that it was brought down just by cheesecakey bullshit. In a way that was unacceptable if you go back and watch it. But yeah, I mean so I hope that Sony brings some professionalism to it, which is good, and some money to it, which is good. We always need a big backer. It's good that it isn't owned by Capcom, I guess, because Capcom, of course, is the center of every single EVO, with Street Fighter being, the main event of any fighting game tournament, basically.
Yeah, and besides, the Capcom Cup already exists. But the only thing that makes me uncomfortable, though, is that one of the particular the big 3 console manufacturers owns the tournament. So everybody's going, oh, does this mean no more Smash? I highly doubt that, but I do see where they're coming from.
I do. I don't think Sony's stupid enough to say no.
There's
no
no
more
way
Smash.
they're gonna shut down Smash. They're gonna keep it open, but you could only play as Cloud or Sephiroth in Cloud Stage.
That's
It's
funny.
2 characters in Smash. No, but people are actually concerned though. Like, is there gonna be an Xbox exclusive title that we liked that is no longer available, or are there gonna be other
Killer
Nintendo
Instinct.
titles that we liked that are no longer available, or whatever?
I mean, Killer Instinct was in past events, so I
That's
mean
true. Yeah.
that is an Xbox that is an Xbox brand. It was on PC as well, but
Yeah, I mean, like Sony would have to realize that like just taking things away from people is going to just build up ill will. I hope they realize that. Like, I hope they just keep things the way they were, only with, like you said, more of a sense of professionalism, because Sony really has been up its own ass, like Sony of America, with like the more Japanese style games they don't care for. So I hope they don't put that bullshit into this too.
yeah. They, I understand their attitude towards underage girls. That is a thing.
Yeah, that I understand.
So like I understand why Senran Kagura is not welcome because that depicts high school girls.
Yeah, that's really, yeah, that's
Um,
walking a very fine line.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that in Japanese video game making, unfortunately, and anime and manga, unfortunately. But
But then Nintendo's like, here you go, everybody.
hey, you can have it. You just come
Yeah,
on over here.
we like getting paid by the customers.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, this is interesting. I don't like the idea of it. I mean, I like seeing the success of an independent, nature taking over this kind of thing. But honestly, they treated it poorly. So I think that for this to go on and continue to be good, this is good. And you know what, PS4 and now probably PS5 is always the preferred system of pretty much any fighting game unless it has to be somewhere else. So like I don't think I've ever seen like the PC version of a game be like the one that people are competing on, let's say. So Mortal Kombat is always played on PS4 from what I've seen. So um, Injustice is always played on PS4, the whole bit. So I think it'll be interesting to see what they do. But it may also lose some of its identity by doing this because it's run by a gigantic corporation.
Yeah, they're gonna have their sets of
Like
standards
side
that
tournaments
might.
are
Yeah.
side tournaments are gonna be like probably pared down
Yeah,
or not as
exactly. Like,
varied.
we're doing things our way, which is not what people want.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's a give and take thing, and everybody knows my stance on corporate consolidation. So there's that too. So
I'll say this much. Have you ever seen how an Evo tournament ends? And I don't mean like the final event. I mean like when they're wrapping up the closing ceremonies. Have you seen that?
do they watch Otaku no Video?
You're actually close. At the end of every Evo, they play that one clip from Rikio where he punches the wall of the prison and the whole thing comes down. You're all free. So
That's amazing.
if Sony gets rid of that, Evo is fucking dead to me.
So what I was referring to is the
Otakon.
Otakon's.
Yeah, they always open and close with Otaku no Video.
Yeah, exactly. Which is an OVA made by one of Gainax's first.
Yeah, it's an
very first.
anime about like a couple of friends trying to make an anime and like with interviews of hardcore otaku people and stuff like that.
It's part
documentary.
It's part documentary and part
Yeah, it's intercut with
movie.
clips of like real people. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So some of them,
Yeah.
more than a couple of them. But
The one guy who wouldn't even like talk to them, like, "Hey, are you that guy?" And he literally just runs away, like on the street.
I guess I could have a girlfriend maybe one of these days, but
Oh, the second guy.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah, they got more and more otaku with each person. Like the first guy had a job and he was like a secret, still a weeb.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I still like my shows, whatever. And the second guy was like what we picture as an otaku, and the third guy was just fucking gone the moment you saw him.
Yeah, nah, he. Ugh. But moving on from that, this was awesome and out of nowhere. But we've been following the saga of Devotion, the Game by Red Candle games that unceremoniously was torn off of Steam after a political message, criticizing the Chinese government was found in it. Winnie the Pooh. Making fun of the Chinese Prime Minister. And this is a game made by Taiwanese, Taiwanese people. So that's already a contentious thing. If you know the ins and outs of that, but so a few weeks ago, GOG said that they were going to finally re-release it and make it available to people, and then they very quickly said nope.
No. We got complaints from a lot of gamers, which exactly zero people believed.
It was only praise. It was only praise, but there's a lot of Chinese nationalist sympathizers come out of the woodwork with stuff like this.
Yeah, so the Taiwanese developers, Red Candle Games, decided to ignore gamers and sell their own game that everyone wanted.
Yeah, so this was the best outcome given the circumstances. They are now selling the game directly off their website.
You can buy each game separately. You could buy a soundtrack bundle. You could buy the whole collection with the soundtrack. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's really neat. So, and it's also DRM free, by the way. So it's going to be presented as it was going to be on GOG. So that's nice.
They just give you a RAR file or a zip file or whatever it is.
Yeah, some people have had some trouble with international purchases because it is a Taiwanese purchase.
Yeah, just talk to your bank. Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to get through, so I don't know what it says about my bank.
Well, I had no problem either, but I have gotten stopped by my bank before with certain purchases, so I don't know, this one went through. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, if you're having trouble, contact your bank, because I don't believe they take PayPal. I had to use a credit card for this.
Yeah, they are not taking. They are famously not taking third-party pay services like Amazon, Google Pay, or Apple Pay, or any of those. So, but it's really neat. You could get
finally.
You could get Devotion by itself for $17, which for an Apple or Windows version. So that's really, really neat. Or you can get a bundle with Detention if you like for $30.
Yeah, because Detention used to be actually hosted on GOG, but eventually that disappeared too. So I missed my chance to get that as well. So I'm happy that now we can finally get both.
Oh, no way! Detention is off of GOG?
Last I checked, yeah.
Oh, is it still on Steam? Because I think it might still be there.
I don't know. I haven't checked. Yeah.
Let me double check that, because I think that one didn't have the problems that Devotion did.
Well, no, it didn't. It didn't. GOG might have just wanted to wipe their hands clean of it, but I don't know about Steam. But
you can still buy it for $12. I have it in my library. So
well, if you had it in your library, you would have kept it anyway. But yeah, last I checked, I believe GOG did not have it. So yeah, it's nice that there's finally an avenue for not only one but both.
Yeah, Detention's also on Switch, I might add, the eShop. So
nice.
But this is really great because this Devotion was a very popular Twitch game for the 1 week that it was out.
Yeah, it was extremely brief.
And a lot of people were having a lot of fun with it, and it is a masterfully made game. And this is by a relatively new horror developer, and they make good stuff. They made 2 good games, so it's really
I had heard that
to
both
see
games
their
are quite good. And it's always cool to see. This is a very niche thing to say, but it's very cool to see horror games from different countries.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm so used to Japan and America and to a degree England, but then there are these other games that
every once in a while, Korean game.
Korea has the Coma and White Day. Indonesia has Dread Out. Taiwan has a couple now. This is nice.
Yeah, no, this is really neat, and it also gives you a fresh perspective on maybe what horror can be, because each culture's horrors have like kind of a different take to it.
Oh yeah,
so,
like Dread Out, for example, like really leaned into Indonesian style mythological monsters. Or like there are a couple of, or at least one video game that it has those like hopping vampires, like the Chinese style ones.
Oh,
like,
sure.
We would never have thought of that. Like it's cool to see, like you were saying, like the different mythologies or even different styles of general horror. Like if you watch, like even the way they present it, like if you watch The Grudge, the American version and the Japanese version, directed by the same guy, they have very different ways of conveying their story.
But yeah, I am definitely going to say that if you are interested in horror games at all, please definitely purchase this directly from them. It benefits the company directly to help them make up their their costs for for having such a terrible thing happen. I'm sure they had even planned like console versions of this game and everything, and it all blew up in their face like their first week. Which,
how much you want to bet that becomes like the new? You know how limited run games really took off with its release of Night Trap. Remember this piece of history that was controversial? Like how much you want to bet a few years down the line they do Devotion?
Oh, that would be amazing. I mean, they did get a physical version of it out in Taiwan.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's gonna be a Devotion. Real collector's item.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's going for a lot of money online. But
it's like Lost in the Rain, the PS3 game. It's like $10 on the PS3 PlayStation Store, but like the Taiwanese physical version is in English and not just Chinese or not just Japanese, depending on the region. So
I don't even know what that game is.
Good luck finding that fucking title. Yeah, I gotta play it myself, but I finally went ahead and bought it on the old PS Store.
Oh, okay. Well, I do recommend buying it directly from them because they are teasing a third game.
Okay,
miraculously.
So let's see. Delineation. Demotion.
Decrepit.
Yeah, something. Yeah, DE something. Make it happen. DE something that ends with TION.
Denominator.
No, it's gotta be TION. I'm thinking delineation. Denomination. All right. Make it happen.
But, decriminalization.
That must be it.
But yeah, I'm excited for them, and I'm excited for a third game. I mean, this is the best kind of outcome for everything that's happened to them. So I'm, their game isn't lost to time. I can buy it. I don't have to. Nobody has to pirate it anymore.
Yeah, and this might have retroactively. I mean, I don't know if it would have benefited enough to like make up for their losses, but at the very least, the fact that this controversy exists is probably drumming up interest that may not have existed from like people who aren't normally into this kind of thing. Like
it's
again,
the
Night Trap,
syndrome, right?
Yeah, like again, Night Trap. It's really not very good, but everybody has heard of it because of the '90s Senate hearings.
Yeah, exactly. You have somebody like Joe Lieberman advertising your game for free.
Yep.
Right.
That I mean, like we talked about this on the phone, but that's like that kind of controversy was artificially created, like on purpose for some of the Grand Theft Auto titles. It gets people talking about it. It's free advertising. Sure. But I should mention, I said Night Trap is not very good, but everyone has heard of it. But from what I've heard, and you've already said, Detention and Devotion actually are good.
Yeah, no, these are supposed to be classics, modern classics. So it's a shame they were treated this way. It's just one of those things. Square Enix had a pretty big event, but honestly, I don't see anything in here that was really blowing anybody away. But there's a couple big things, and I picked out the best from this event.
That's kind of what cracks me up, by the way. There are a couple of things in there that look interesting, but like you're like, I picked out the best of the best, and your first bullet point is like, really?
Yeah,
that's among the best, then we are in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody knows that their game Avengers had one of the rockiest launches, and if not for if not for Cyberpunk, this would have been the worst launch of last year.
Yeah, the game's like a meme. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gotten pretty good, is what I understand. And it's not bad. It's gotten pretty good. It's not an amazing game by any stretch, but it's gotten pretty good. It had a really bad launch. This should tell you. And probably the public perception about this game is that it sucks, which is a shame for all of the all the updates that they've been making for it. This is why you should launch when your game is done.
Yeah.
But they announced that they are adding Hawkeye, and then after some amount of time they're adding Black Panther, and then they'll be adding Spider-Man after that. So that's pretty cool. I mean, Hawkeye probably should have been in there the whole time. He is
really.
proper Avenger.
Not only that, but like he's not the most popular Avenger. Like a year down the line, we're finally getting Hawkeye. People are gonna definitely be interested in paying extra for that character.
Yeah.
Or is he paid DLC, or is he just coming to the base game?
I think he's coming to the base game.
Okay, because that seems like one of those things that should be the core, where like he's there if you want him, but I don't think. Oh, finally, Hawkeye's there. Like,
I think
Black Panther and Spider-Man, sure.
Black Panther is going to be paid DLC because there's like a campaign that goes with it.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure about Spider-Man. I didn't look too far into it, so I could be talking out my ass here.
Yeah.
But it's not my thing. I mean, I'm a big Marvel fan, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm a big comic book fan, and I love the movies, and I don't care. So that's where I'm at with it. This was probably the biggest news. Life is Strange: True Colors was announced, which is the third game in the series.
Fourth game in the series, because there's Before the Storm.
Okay, so this is the fourth game.
Yeah, so I'm really falling behind because I
really
have all three
behind.
games and I haven't touched them.
I haven't played any of them, and I hear they're great.
Yeah, like I have them and I haven't played them. The only detraction I hear is that like the dialogue is like Juno levels of like what an adult thinks teenagers talk like.
Yeah, but that to me is not a problem. At least it's in English. Unlike something like Heavy Rain or something. You know what I mean? Like at least it's
was Heavy Rain's
well.
dialogue that bad? I don't remember
that. Jason. But
that's not the script though.
Yeah.
That's calling for your kid. That made contextual sense. It's just funny when you press the button 100 times. I'm talking about utter bullshit dialogue, like honest to blog, like in Juno.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
I like hip dialogue. I don't care. I like Juno, so I don't care.
I love the movie Juno, but some of the like, I don't even remember how it went because it was so awkward. Like Dwight from The Office calls her home skillet. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any problem with idiosyncratic ways of talking. That's a little bit of flavor. I understand the criticism, but I don't ascribe to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to play the game to find out like how it goes throughout the game, but I'm nervous.
Yeah, well, but
like again, I love Juno, but like some of that stuff was distracting.
I hear these games are great. So
I do hear they're very good.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to focus on when I finally get a chance to play them. So, and they also announced that 1 and 2 are getting remasters with all new facial capture too. So these are like proper remasters.
Everyone's face has been changed to look like Tom Holland.
No, but I think they're really trying to get everything to match up to what they're saying and all that stuff. So that's really, really cool. These are like not just like run the mill remasters, where they improve the textures or whatever.
Sure.
This is like a big deal. And one of the games that was shown as like a PS5, like this is what you can look forward to kind of thing. Project Athia. Is now known as Forspoken. That's a weird title, but there was a new trailer
that
for
is
it.
Bizarre, yeah.
But I don't think there was there was gameplay, so we still don't know how the game plays or what it is. So, it's at least they're moving forward with it. It's not one of those like concepts that went nowhere.
Yeah,
so that's good. And that was basically it. I didn't see. There's like a little bit of Final Fantasy 16 in there, but not much. This was pretty big news when I heard it. Super Bomberman R Online, the killer app for Stadia. It was an exclusive online multiplayer game that did wasn't anywhere else. There was regular Super Bomberman R, has been everywhere, but Super Bomberman R Online, which is like has a free to play elements and stuff, does now get announced for all major platforms. So,
well, of course, like Stadia is gonna freaking implode.
Yeah, I mean, I would never sign up for Stadia right now. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, when are we gonna port Journey to the Savage Planet to consoles that'll have people who can fix the fucking game?
Yeah, I mean, this is good. I mean, this is a Bomberman. Bomberman's always welcome. I thought that Bomberman R was great. So
yeah, that's a quality title.
It's a really good multiplayer game. It's very easy. It's probably the best one since the Saturn game, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, I like talking about the Saturn game because it has like 10-player compatibility, but that's one level and it's a compromised version of the level.
It's not
like
good.
Bomberman R has consistent 8-player capability, which is insane.
Yeah, this is really the way to go, and it has a lot of fan service in it.
I was going to mention you could play as Vic Viper, and depending on each has a console. Yeah, Pyramid Head, of course. There's a console exclusive character for each. I think Xbox has Master Chief, PS4 has Ratchet, and what was Nintendo?
There was a Simon Belmont. Was one of the guys.
Yeah, but that was on. Maybe that was it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, that is a Konami character, though, not necessarily Nintendo.
Sure.
But, like we played it on... When I played the game, it was on your Switch. So, yeah, Simon Belmont was certainly there.
Maybe it was Vic Viper, I don't know. But,
well, they were both playable, and Pyramid Head, they're all specifically Konami characters, but Ratchet and Master Chief are not, so I'm wondering if there's some Nintendo exclusive character. But you go ahead, I'll look it up.
But yeah, Super Bomberman R was a lot of fun. It was a launch game for the Switch, and it made having the system worth it because it wasn't out for anything else at the time. And Super Bomberman R Online is like an upgraded version of that, and it has a free to play mode. You can probably expect to see tons of people playing this, since it's a free to play game. And it's coming out on all major platforms, and that includes like Steam and stuff like that. So
there's Max Bomber.
Oh, okay.
Who I don't
Yeah, Max from the Game Boy Color game.
Oh, jeez.
Bomberman.
That's
Max.
a callback.
When they went Pokemon and they had two versions, they had like the Bomberman version and the Max version.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That was during the Pokemon craze.
Well, okay.
yeah. There we go. But yeah. Really cool stuff. I'm looking forward to this. I mean, and I am looking forward to playing it on Switch. I mean, this is going to be fun. Moving on from this, you notified me about this, and I thought this was really cool. But Sony announced PlayStation Play at Home. They are basically giving away 10 AAA titles for free.
Well, they're not all AAA, but they are all very good.
Like big, yeah, and they're all quality titles. One of them being Horizon Zero Dawn, which is like one of the best games ever made.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten it yet, then boy, is this a good excuse to get it. What a brilliant game.
Yeah, but Res Infinite, which is one of my favorite games of all time, I love that game.
That's one of those games that's not a AAA title, it's a port of a port, but like, what a great game.
The first version of Res was on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, there was Dreamcast, which America never even got. We got it on PS2. Then it was brought over to the HD era on the 360, and then finally Infinite on PS4 and possibly PC?
Yeah, it's on PC.
Okay.
But yeah, Res Infinite, Res just keeps getting better with age. They keep adding things to it, and
yeah, there's a new level now. It's got VR support. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, they just keep adding more and more to it, and it's always been a fantastic experience. So
yeah, even the vanilla version really is great.
You also have Abzu, which is a really good story-focused game.
It is story-focused.
Is it? I thought it was story-focused. No.
Have you ever played Journey?
Oh, okay. No, I haven't.
Do you know what it is?
Journey is the wait. Journey's the one where
you're in the desert.
you're in the desert and you find the other people that ring. Yeah, I played that. Yeah.
Well, Abzu is the same game made by the same developers, but you're underwater.
Oh, okay. So
it doesn't have the
story
multiplayer.
focused.
Yeah, there's zero story. Well, there's lore kind of, but like it doesn't have the multiplayer aspect. This one is strictly single player, but
it's cinematic, I should say, right?
Yes. Instead of being desert focused, it's underwater focused, and boy, does that underwater wildlife look just beautiful. But yeah, it's a very like, behold how gorgeous this game is, and you'll beat the whole thing in like 90 minutes, but like it's not supposed to be longer than that unless you want to find all the little things.
It's a cinematic experience.
It's very fun.
Yeah. I mean, they made Flower, and what was the other one they made?
Yeah, I know what you mean. On PS3, there was Journey, Flow. Yes, Flow. Yes.
Okay, Flow was a lot of fun too. But Flow was more like an arcade game. That was like almost like a version of Snake, almost.
Yeah. It seemed kind of experimental.
Yeah, I like that game a lot. The Witness, which is the Witness is the one made by the guy who made Braid, right?
This one I don't know so well.
Yeah, so this is the one made by the guy who made that Braid.
Like, I mean, I've seen The Witness on store shelves every so often, but I don't know.
I always get it confused with Abduction, which is the Mist. That's the game made by Mist. The Mist guys.
Okay.
But Jonathan Blow, yes. Okay, so he made Braid, The Witness, and The Witness. Yeah. But before that, he was known for making a comic of some sort. I forget what it was.
Yeah, this I don't know anything about.
Yeah, but you know, Braid was
sure. Yeah, Braid was one of the really big indie titles of its time.
It was one of the very first like big Xbox Live Arcade games, like after Geometry Wars. This was like it was helped out by Soldier Boy, if you remember right.
Oh, that guy made his own console.
That is unfortunately correct. Let me see here. Enter the Gungeon, which is one of my favorite games of all time.
I mean, we've certainly talked about that on this cast, and I've put up videos on my channel of some gameplay of it. It is a brilliant roguelite.
It is probably the best one after Isaac. I'm just gonna go ahead and say
even then it's debatable depending on your flavor. You could easily consider that to be the best one. I'm back and forth on this one. Like, Gungeon is really
well,
really
if you're back
good.
and forth, then I know it's good because like you love Isaac.
Gungeon. Well, I love Isaac, but I also have a history with it. Like, Gungeon's a goddamn good game. It's fantastic.
It's my favorite of the genre.
And it has a much more upbeat attitude about it, by the way, because Isaac is constantly like a feel-bad game. Like, you literally fight with your tears and your piss sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's others in the genre, of course, you know, Spelunky and Rogue Legacy and all that stuff. But
Rogue Legacy is also a banger. Yeah.
I mean, like there's plenty of really good ones. I mean, the Nuclear Throne is a similar game to Enter the Gungeon, but
it is. Yes.
Yeah. But Enter the Gungeon, it has so much content.
I like Nuclear Throne, but I think Gungeon is better.
Oh yeah, me too. It's a lot more refined. It even plays better.
It is. Yeah. And it does.
Subnautica is an exploration-based game, I think. Right?
Yeah, like you have an actual goal in that game. You're trying to build, first of all, your base, because you start just in the water with this little pod. You want to expand your base so you have more places to go and find resources to build more stuff, and you could eventually reach there is a conclusion, there is kind of a plot, but when you first play it really feels like an exploration-based game, because you're like, I don't know, go around, get the things, but like once you really get the hang of it, then you find a direction to go in.
It was always my impression that it was kind of like the Lost in Blue games, or the Endless Ocean games. I'm sorry, the Endless Ocean games.
Oh, yeah, kind of. Yeah, like Endless Ocean also has a plot, but it's more like an excuse for you to just go around looking around.
Collect shit. Like, I want to put this polar bear on my ship.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, this tropical penguin, which is a thing that exists.
Yeah. Then there's Moss, which is quite possibly one of the best VR experiences.
I've heard of that, but I've never touched it.
It's amazing. It as far as adventure games go, it's probably the best VR adventure game out there. It's up there with, held in high esteem amongst like Half-Life Alyx and Beat Saber as like the best experiences in VR.
Yeah, Beat Saber, man, move over. Oh fuck! Oh no! Yeah, move over. Wii Fit.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is the workout of a lifetime.
It'll make you sweat. It'll make you sweat. That's for sure. Astrobot Rescue Mission, which is also up there in terms. Actually, 3 of the best VR games are right here: Res Infinite, Astrobot, Rescue Mission, and
Boss. and Res isn't even like specifically a VR game, but you can play it in VR.
Paper Beast.
Oh, well, no, you go ahead, but I was going to say, speaking of play in VR, there is another title in there. I was going to mention Thumper. Shout out to fucking Thumper.
That's another good VR
Remember
Thumper?
Too. That game is crazy hard, but it's very engaging in that beat. I beat that game, but it is not easy.
It is an amazing game, and that's saying a lot because Lotus is really good at rhythm games. He doesn't play them often, but when he does, I love watching.
I'm all right.
I love watching. You don't give yourself enough credit. I think you're really good.
Like Guitar Man gave me trouble, and that's not like DDR levels of precision. But
there are certain levels in that are just like really fucking hard, though.
Yeah, Sandbone Trio is no joke. But Thumper, the achievements in Thumper are very simple. There's, I think, 19, because there's like 18 plus platinum. It's beat each level. There's a trophy for each one. And then there's A rank or S rank or whatever each level. That's it. And that's all you need. That game's fucking hard.
Yeah, Thumper is a really fun experience. One of the best rhythm games out there.
And the sound, play that with headphones. As someone who hates headphones, like, play that with headphones. That beat just hits you. It's
headphones
great.
And VR, and you are gonna be lost
when you're going over those spike pits. That sound. It's so good.
So good. It's up there with Res in terms of like a rhythm musical experience.
Like Res
also Tetris Effect is like that too. It's like,
Res and Tetris Effect push. Well, Res in particular pushes the synesthesia experience. It says that directly on the game, but like Res is a very like cinematic experience as well. Like, look at the beauty of this. Child of Eden, similarly. Thumper has its moments. When the boss comes out, you're like, what? But most of it, you're just on the track, and the sound is like all you need.
And I have never heard of Paper Beast, so I
don't know this one.
On this one. But that is another VR one, and if it's being lumped in with all of these, like there's not a bad game here. These are all really good, so I'm sure it's good. I've never heard of it, unfortunately. I think Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart is going to be in it.
Wait, what? On the Play at Home? That cannot be true. Maybe the PS4 reboot, because that was already released for nothing. That was like, that's been free for PS.
Hold on, let me read it. For example, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is coming as a PS5 exclusive in a few months after Ratchet and Clank on PS4 was made free.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, like, Rift Apart is like the not yet released AAA title. They're just gonna give that away. Like, Jesus Christ.
I was wrong. Yeah. But yeah, like this is all really good stuff. I think I might be missing a couple titles, but this is really
I don't remember what all of them were, but and I will mention, by the way, Ratchet and Clank, the PS4 reboot. That's a solid title, and there are allusions to the other games because it's like the 100th game, but it's also the first story beat, so like you can pick that up if you haven't played any other game. Now's as good a time as any, unless you want to go back to the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, this is really, really cool stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited, that people are getting these for free and without like any strings attached or anything. They're just free.
Yeah, just free. Like, I mean, like they've been out for a while, but like they are super high quality. Like Horizon Zero Dawn. Are you kidding me? Like, what a brilliant title.
That's one of the best games of last generation.
That was the game that was directly competing with fucking Breath of the Wild, released on the same day.
Yeah, and it was a shame that it was overshadowed, but only briefly because it caught back up.
I'm very pleased that people didn't forget it because they were focusing so heavily on Zelda. Like, no, it's definitely it's big.
Horizon was one of my favorite experiences. When it came out, I loved playing.
Yeah, that it is, and the DLC as well. Very, very, very good.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun. I can't wait for the sequel. In fact.
Yes.
Moving on from that, so they said that PS5 VR or whatever the upgrade is going to be for the PS5 was not coming anytime soon this year, probably next year. But they did reveal what the controllers are going to be, which is pretty neat. So it looks like they're moving away from the PlayStation Move wands that are now part of the system, and moving on to something like that is more nuanced. That's closer to what a lot of the Steam and PC VR setups have. So that's really, really cool. I took a look at it. It looks neat. It looks like it has a lot of vectors of control. There are thumbsticks on both sides.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It'll be able to sense wherever you're moving your hands, so it'll be really, really good for first-person shooters and things like that, and manipulating things within your locus of control. So I'm really looking forward to this, because as much as I like the Move controllers, I think this is the way to go. I mean,
the Move controllers are very good, but that's exactly it. Like, it's a wand. Like, it gets the job done for the games that were made with those in mind.
It's also an old technology at this point. It's really old. It was a PS3 technology, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which itself was a ripoff of Wii technology. So, like, yeah, like their games work perfectly well because they're made with those controllers in mind. But if you think about what VR is, like what we imagined it would be back in the 90s, like, you can do more than hold a wand, right? Like, imagine what else you can do.
So these include adaptive triggers, which is really cool. So there's tension when you try to pull a trigger, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's really neat. Haptic feedback, which is all the sorts of like vibration and stuff that comes with happening when you're doing like melee combat and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Finger touch detection.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, instead of click button, because that's the thing with the VR that we have, which again is great. But like, you press the trigger on the wands, you are now holding the thing. Like, it's very simple for what it is.
Tracking, which it's going to have advanced tracking to know where your arms are. It might not even need to see them. It might even be better than that. And action buttons and analog sticks. So
very nice.
They look really neat and very comfortable too. So I recommend everybody if you're interested in this, take a look at them. They're very ergonomic. Really, really neat stuff. Moving on from that, Nintendo gives a final warning to digitally purchase Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario 3D All Stars. That is, of course, going to be the last day of sales, going to be the 31st of the month. So,
and as a reminder, this is Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and the first Super Mario Galaxy.
And I might add the best versions of all of them.
Well, now that Sunshine's been patched, yes.
Yes, yeah. And in fact, I would have even said Sunshine was the best as it was anyway, but the things that people wanted for that port did make it in. So
that's the thing. Like, the whole game revolves around the Flood, so like, you better make sure that works right. And now it does.
I thought that was Halo.
That's a good point. Yeah, I forgot that Master Chief had to clean up graffiti all over Covenant or whatever.
Everybody hates the Flood.
Yeah, the Shadow Master Chief really messed up everyone's vacation.
I wish that had happened.
It's so stupid.
Everybody hates the Flood in Halo. It's not as good as the Covenant. The Covenant makes it fun, and then the Flood is just zombies.
The Covenant's another Legion. What is the place you're on called in Master
Halo.
Chief?
Halo.
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah, you're on a Halo. Yeah,
got me there.
Yeah, but like it's like a planetoid ring.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it was meant to house this zombie race called the Flood, and when they show up, they're just hordes and they're mindless. So people don't like fighting them as much as they like fighting the Covenant, which had really good AI for the time.
It's like a not funny, serious Sam where you're just like, I'm killing goons. All right.
Yeah, exactly. I'd much rather fight, a smart bad guy,
sure.
Which is what you were doing the whole time before that. So anyway, moving on from that, this is just interesting. El Shaddai was a really interesting game. This is actually in your intro, right? Isn't El Shaddai?
I've let's played that. What like that? There's a game that nobody remembers at all. It was a PS3 360 title, and it's like, it's not the best, but it's gorgeous and it's interesting.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful, and it was the AAA game made by Ignition that made it go out of business. Ignition Entertainment that made it.
Yeah, because again, it's not a fantastic game. Like, I easily see why people were turned off, but if you are willing to, to tough it out, it's a pretty sweet experience. But you have to you gotta want it. Like, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking and sounding game.
Yeah.
But like the gameplay is not.
And the lip syncing, by the way, is like legendarily bad. And I thought it was like, oh, well, it makes more sense in Japanese, but apparently it doesn't. Like, the mouth movements are just like, what?
Yeah, no.
And that's a minor thing to point out, but, like, you could tell immediately. Like, when they do the close-ups of the mouth, like, what I'm about to say is important. Close-up of the mouth. You're like, dude, they didn't even try to sync this up.
But, I heard that the voice acting was pretty decent, though.
It is. It's great.
Yeah. Was it Cam Clark in there or something like that? Like some.
I don't know who's in it, but the acting's quality.
It might even.
Cam Clark shows up in everything. He shows up in fucking Gungeon.
Yeah, I seem to remember somebody famous being in this. El Shaddai, the Ascension of the Metatron. Yeah,
that's the one. There's a pretentious title for you.
But yeah, I seem to remember somebody famous being in it. I just forget.
Well, anyway, you go ahead with your information. I'll look up what I can.
Yeah, but it apparently is coming to PC for the very first time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm excited because this game was a console exclusive and it was interesting, and it's neat that it got rescued. Because it was a game that famously killed a company, kind of like
Disaster Report 4.
Yeah, Disaster Report.
I mean, that wasn't the game's fault. Well, no. Yeah, that wasn't like, oh, this game didn't do very well, so it's dead. Like, the game literally didn't sell because no one could buy it.
I'm more talking about what was the game that the Cooking Mama was put out by what company was that?
Oh, the Switch game?
No, the original Cooking Mama was put out by Mama. This was put out by.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing a voice actor, by the way, that's like really standing out to me. Oh, so Majesco? Okay.
Yeah, Majesco almost got killed by a big game that they put out on the original Xbox. I forget what it was called, but that's how crazy it was that they tried to put out a AAA game and just kind of fucked up, and it wasn't quite as good as it should have been. Event Rising, yeah, that was the name of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm comparing this to Event Rising. Jeez, very kind of similar situation. A company that had no business being in a AAA space, trying to be in the AAA space, and then fucking up and dying.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Goldman and Globus movies, like those guys who made those movies back in the 80s, and then they started trying to make AAA movies and fell on their face. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I recognize the name.
The Death Wish sequels. And,
like Canon Films.
Canon Films, yeah, that's it. Yeah. They made Superman 4, one of the most legendarily bad superhero films
with
of all
Nuclear
time.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. It just looks stupid. But yeah, it's up there with Highlander 2 in terms of this is really stupid and dumb. But yeah, it's coming to PC, and it should look great on modern televisions and stuff. So it got rescued from that generation. I mean, there's a lot of games that were console only back then. A lot of people don't realize, like, we're spoiled now. Like, everything comes out on everything. But during the 360 and PS3 era, there are quite a lot of games that only got console releases.
Yeah, like we talk about standardization now, but I mean, back then we talked about standardization because what we meant by that was that everything came out on both systems. But yeah, the Nintendo and PC were still outliers.
I mean, there's something like Azura's Wrath. I mean, that
yeah, that game desperately needs to be rescued. What a great title.
It is playable on the Xbox Series games through backward compatibility, but the PS3 version is like the Sony versions are lost.
Yeah, if they would sell just like the full game, because like that's one of those games that kind of became legendary because the true ending was fucking DLC.
Yeah,
but
if
they released a full version of that, people I think would be a lot more willing to play it, especially if they released it at like $20-$30.
Yeah, that Prince of Persia DLC. Also,
the 360 game.
Yeah, the one that's just called Prince of Persia, the one after the Sands of Time trilogy.
Yeah, the reboot or whatever it was. Yeah.
That's a shame. But yeah, this game's getting rescued, so I'm super happy. Also, Octopath Traveler, which looked to me like it was going to be probably a Switch exclusive, is now getting an Xbox One port. Which
look at that.
Like, wow.
Which means the PC release can't possibly be that far behind.
Yeah, that's really cool because that's a game that's held in high esteem. I haven't played it yet, but a lot of people like it, especially if you are a Saga Frontier fan. It's similar to Saga Frontier.
Yeah, and the aesthetic is just so like it's that 2D Chrono Trigger look, but in 3D. Yeah, and they make it work. Yeah, it's
neat. Also, coincidentally, Undertale is out on Xbox One finally. So that's
there we go.
Cool. So and that goes along with the Xbox Series.
So now the Xbox players are gonna have a bad time.
Love it. I love it. Just don't kill everybody your first run.
Yeah, if you do, then you're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a hard time getting through that. This was really cool. So we have known for a while now, since a Nintendo Direct, I think last year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne is getting an HD remaster. But we finally have a date for it. It's May 25th, and they, revealed it for all the different consoles. And then there was an icon there that nobody had seen before. That it is getting a Steam release, which is really, really a big surprise. And like they didn't announce it or anything; it just was an icon there, and people were like, "What?"
Yep.
So this is really cool. I mean, they have Persona. Atlas has been really good with releasing PC versions of Persona lately, so maybe they're gonna keep doing it. They put Persona 4 Golden on PC recently, which was uncharacteristic. So they're getting their second big SMT game, which is SMT3 on PC, which is pretty cool. Then we thought this may be the case, but the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, which has Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1 and 2 and Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, is not getting a physical edition in the West. They are putting it out in Asian territories with the English in it, so if you want to pick that up on like an import website, you certainly can.
A lot of games seem to do that. If they don't, like lately, like if they don't get Western releases, then we'll put English on it. We know who's buying this.
Yeah, that's a shame though, because like people would pick this up.
Yeah, like I mean, I've been playing the Phoenix Wright trilogy on PS4. That's got English, no problem. It even defaults to English. It's just I had to import it.
Yeah, that stinks. And this was a really cool game. Maneater, the spiritual successor to Jaws Unleashed, it was announced for Switch this May, so it absolutely deserves it. Maneater is imagine if you were a shark, but you wanted to put it in armor and you wanted it to shoot lasers at people and take over the world.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of stupid bullshit, and that's exactly what you want.
It's amazing. Jaws Unleashed was the first game where you could play as a shark, and it was full of bullshit, and it was a lot of fun. But this is on another plane. Like Maneater's way even better. Like in Jaws Unleashed, you had to unlock things with key cards.
Yeah,
like,
that's
as a shark. and come on, you want to play as the shark in Jaws? Like you don't want to play as humans. Come get out of here. It's amazing. So yeah, this one has sci-fi trappings and fantasy trappings added to it. It's just insanity and RPG mechanics. It's a lot of fun and it's a beautiful game. And you're gonna be laughing the entire time while you're playing it. So it's really cool. This is a pretty cool announcement too. G-Darius is getting G-Darius version 2 added to it via the Darius Cosmic Revelation collection. This is already out in Japan. I think we're waiting on Strictly Limited to get it to us in the Western territories. I think it's supposed to be December it gets here. But this is the collection that has G-Darius and which was like the one that was released on PlayStation back in the day, and arcades, and the Darius Burst, which is the latest one, is going to be on there. But this is really exciting because this version never got a port. Darius is famous for having like multiple updates in the arcade, so they change balancing and make it harder or whatever, and this version had never made it, so that's pretty cool. Also, a really neat thing happened. SNK finally revealed that the Neo Geo Pocket Color Selection Volume 1, which I really wish they would have put it out this way to begin with.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are mad about this because there's 10 games, but I don't know if any of them are being sold individually, so what about the people who bought the individual ones?
This same thing happened with the Sekio games. They came out on a collection, and the collection had had games that were exclusive to the collection.
Yeah, it's very obnoxious.
And I had been supporting it all along, making sure that this was a successful thing. But it has all of the Neo Geo Pocket Color ports that we had been talking about, and in addition to that, they're including Metal Slug, Pocket Mission.
Yeah, first and second mission or something.
Yeah, first and second mission.
Which are two separate games. First mission is one game, and second mission is the other game.
And they're exclusive games too, so it's not like they're ports of anything. They're exclusive Neo Geo Pocket Color games. And so immediately, those are great. Those are two of the best action games on the system, so that's really, really cool. They're adding Dark Arms, which is one of the better adventure-type games, almost like a Zelda-ish game, but it has a horror theme to it. So that it's nowhere near as something as good as Link's Awakening, but it's a good, fun game. So that's really neat. And Neo Turf Masters, Neo Geo Pocket Color version. I forget what the sanitized version is called.
Yeah, it was it had golf. What was it?
It was something like Top Golf or Neo Golf.
Something that, yeah.
But yeah, it's that's what it is. But that's also one of the best pocket golf games that I've ever played. It's really, really a lot of fun. So it's absolutely worth it. And this is available digitally on the Switch for $40. So that's pretty steep if you own most of the games and all the good ones at that. And this is in addition to, of course, Lost Blade, the King of Fighters game that's on there, Gals Fighters, was it Last Blade, Samurai Showdown, and Fatal Fury, and
that sounds
SNK
right.
versus Capcom Match of the Millennium. So I think I got them all.
Yeah, maybe it was called. In Japan it's called Big Tournaments Golf, but I think Neo Turf Masters is what it was called US in the West.
Yeah, because it was kind of a sequel to the arcade Neo Turf Masters. So
okay.
Yeah, it's not the same game. It's its own thing, but it's really, really good. So I hope that they sell the remaining 4 games, the 4 exclusive games as for right now, exclusively. But they did also say that they were planning on a physical release of this, and that's what I'm going to be waiting for, because
that's a very esoteric thing, like a collection. It's been a long time since, well, maybe not as long as I thought. I was gonna say it's been a long time since I've seen like old video games collection, but we have the Sega collection on PS4 and the Xbox One, but like a Neo Geo Pocket collection though, or a Neo Geo Pocket Color collection, that's very like out there.
Well, they did the SNK 25th anniversary collection.
That's true, like a bunch of obscure like arcade games you haven't heard of.
Yeah, they did a pre Neo Geo SNK collection. Was it 35th anniversary, something like that?
So 35th or 40th or whatever.
Yeah, and that was really good. That was put together well, and that one was put out by Nippon Ichi. I think they published that one, and that was a really good one. And they put out a physical version of that. But SNK has been working a lot with limited run games lately, so I would put money on either it's Nippon Ichi or limited run that's going to release.
Yeah, limited run's been doing their shock box big collector's editions for like Samurai Showdown and KOF and Metal Slug and stuff like that.
Yeah, they just did a KOF collection, the Orochi Saga.
The Orochi Saga.
Yeah, which is really neat. But I think this is really great. I do wish I could just buy the last remaining titles, but I will double dip and buy a physical copy of this. I won't buy the digital collection, but this is still really good. I'm really excited that they did this. They also ambitiously call it Volume 1. I am one of the biggest Neo Geo Pocket Color fans out there. I have to tell you that the games on this collection comprise the vast majority of the games that you would want to play. The only ones that are remaining are the SNK versus Capcom card battle games, one of which, and there's 2 versions of each of those, so I guess there's 4 of those technically, because they're like Pokemon. You get an SNK version, a Capcom version, but like I don't see those happening, because like if they did a licensing deal, they did it for Match of the Millennium, and that was it. There's Falsely, which is a good, kind of a tactical RPG. And honestly, there's not much else.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, there's like a Sonic Neo Pocket Adventure, which is kind of a port of Sonic 2. Like, kind of. I can't think of... there's a version of Pac-Man, but it's Pac-Man. It's not like...
Yeah.
Like it's just regular Pac-Man. It's like bare bones ass Pac-Man. There's a baseball game. There's a tennis game. There's Crush Roller, which was a really good game, admittedly. But the rest of it after that, it falls way off. It's mostly just like Hachi slot games, which who wants those? Mahjong games. All of the really good fighting games are on this one. I have to say, like they got the one that was the hardest to get, which was the SNK versus Capcom game, and that's one of the best games I've ever played. I'm not even just for the system. It's a really good 2D fighter, really amazing, and it got me into fighting games. It's fun and super approachable, and it has a ton of characters in it. It has a ton of content. There's probably no other fully featured game on the system that's like it, because it was only around for about a year and a half, so in America at least. So I'd be very hard pressed to believe that an actual Volume 2 would be released to this, and I'd be like surprised and elated with anything that would be on it. But I don't think so. I think it's very ambitious for them to say that. And then there's they also did King of Fighters 15 had its Terry character reveal. I mean, if you didn't think Terry was going to be in the new King of Fighters, I don't know.
Last week I said Yuri should not have come as a surprise, but Terry, like, come on.
Terry's the second biggest character.
Yeah, the top comment I saw in the character trailer was it said, like, this is like having a Mario trailer for Smash.
Exactly.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, even though Kyo is the main character of King of
Terry's
Fighters,
the one you care about.
Terry is the face of the company. He is the face of SNK, not just the KOF series. He's the face of SNK. So like when SNK is represented, it's represented by Terry. Just like
Terry with his hat that says Fatal Fury on it.
Yeah, he's the character they chose for Smash for a reason. I mean, he is the face of the company. So
I would love for them to release Geese for Smash.
Oh well, I mean, Geese is a reasonable, like, he's kind of like Akuma. He's just as iconic as Akuma.
I mean, Geese is the big bad of Terry's fighting game series.
Yeah, he's not even the big bad guy of King of Fighters. So.
Well, no, he's a Fatal Fury guy.
Yeah, exactly.
King of Fighters bad guy is, I think, exclusive to King of Fighters. It's Rugal.
Yeah.
I mean, it changes with each game. They have new villains, but it was Rugal.
Yeah. So moving on from that, just the last SNK one is a bizarre one. Oh my god. So there was a bunch of SNK news, but there was a previously unknown, unannounced prototype for the Hyper Neo Geo 64 found under a fucking tree somewhere, like in the elements. First of all, I have to explain what the Hyper Neo Geo 64 was. It is the successor system to the Neo Geo. They made a system that was polygon capable after the Neo Geo. So, but it failed pretty miserably. They made like 3D versions of like Fatal Fury and like and Samurai Showdown and like a few other games, and it just failed miserably. So that's why you never hear about it. There's maybe about 6 games for it or something like that. And they found a game that nobody knew about for it under a tree somewhere. Yeah, like out of nowhere, which is so bizarre. Yeah, let me even see what it's like in Chicago somewhere.
That's the weirdest part yet.
No, in California. I'm sorry, California.
Still, that's way out there. I didn't think it would be in America.
Prototype was found by Sacramento-based pinball machine repair specialist Craig Weiss under a tree in California. This was by Eurogamer here. So yeah, this is found it in California in a field.
All right.
And it was for Samurai Showdown 64, which so yeah, this is crazy. No one's ever seen it before. No one's ever seen a sort of Hyper Neo Geo 64 prototype hardware before, and this is insane. I'm really surprised and elated. I mean, it's for an obscure arcade standard, and for just in the weirdest place possible. In America, in the middle of a fucking field.
Yeah, it's way out there.
Yeah, so let me see here. Beastbuster's Second Nightmare was made for this. Buriki 1, Fatal Fury Wild Ambition, which got a PS1 port. Road's Edge, I have no idea what that is. Samurai Showdown 64, so this is a prototype of this. So it's not a completely unknown game. It's just a prototype that nobody knew existed.
Huh.
And Extreme Rally, so and an update to Samurai Showdown 64 Warriors Rage. So yeah, there was only a few games for it, and yeah, hopefully this gets released sometime so people can fuck around with it.
And speaking of weird prototypes showing up,
yeah, you know more about this than I do.
A little. All I know is that Hidden Palace, that's the website that's just been on just a streak of
fire.
Uploading prototypes of old games for old systems. And they have a bunch of PS2 prototype stuff that's come up, including some like the Mega Man X titles and things like that. One thing that particularly caught my attention, because it showed up on a YouTube channel I follow, was a God Hand prototype that had 4 levels. It's mostly the same, but the guy, like the God Hand channel guy that I follow was uploading little differences, like different facial expressions on some characters, or animations are a little fast, or the spinny blade things in the carnival area are all purple instead of designed with like circus aesthetic. It's like amusing little differences like that. The Moai head looks a little bit different. It's just kind of like, huh. And they have a different version of the theme that plays over World 1's map. It's just like amusing little quirks.
I really think that this is awesome. They even called it Project Deluge because there's so much content there.
Yeah, there's a ton of PS2 prototype games out there.
This is really, really neat stuff, and especially with like PlayStation 1 stuff has really exploded recently in terms of like homebrew and fan created stuff. So hopefully they're going to do a proper ODE for PlayStation 2 and a proper HDMI mod, because that I think that's the next frontier.
I will flip when that happens.
Yeah, I think the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox are going to be the next two the original OG Xbox are going to be the next frontiers in terms of like blow them wide open and like all kinds of cool like fan made stuff to go with it. I hope they do that for Saturn eventually. They do an HDMI mod for Saturn eventually, but I think my big money is on PS2 is going to be the next one. So it's even going to be a lot more fun, playing demos and stuff now that it's so much easy with an optical drive emulator.
Oh yeah,
so cool. And just like a couple Mr. updates, they finally released a Mr. Cade, which is really neat. This is a way to play the Mr. platform on through the JAMA standard. So like if you've been following Mr. and the things I've been saying about it, the FPGA system, this is really, really cool. Especially like there are tons of really great arcade cores on this thing, and you can finally just play it on your Astro City cabinet if you have one, like that kind of cool. I this is not for me because I am a flat panel modern display guy, but I could see how this is a big deal, like especially if you want to play it on CRT. This is like a big deal. Also, Hotego is making more and more strides on the CPS2 betas. This is the Capcom Play System cores that he keeps putting out, and including one of the biggest games, which is Street Fighter Alpha 2, considered to be the best of the Alpha games by the entire fighting game community, basically. So this is a big deal. Like before Street Fighter 3 came in vogue, Third Strike, Street Fighter Alpha 2 was the standard fighting game tournament game. Even 3 did not paled in comparison to the second one. So it's pretty cool. And also Mr. got its own Lynx core public, which is really cool. Like the Lynx doesn't have a digital out or even like a digital mod or anything like that. So a super accurate way to get a digital display of Lynx games. I'm all for it. I mean, I'm not like hounding after Lynx games, but I think it would be cool to mess around with them now.
Yeah.
Why not? Super accurate representations of Lynx games. No fuss, no muss. Why not? Really cool stuff. Last couple things. We had just so much this week. I had to get to it all. The Justice League, the Snyder Cut is out. I have not seen it yet, so I can't comment on it, but a lot of people are liking it. A lot of people are saying it's like way better than the original. Some people are saying, it's up its own ass, but I expect from a Snyder production.
Yeah, the general consensus I've heard is that it absolutely did not need to be 4 hours, but it's certainly more cohesive and better than what we had gotten before.
I have never seen the original version of it, so I'm kind of looking forward to going into it all vanilla. Like this is my version that I'm seeing, because I never saw the original version. But I mean, like I also don't super care either. I'm a big DC Comics fan. You know this. I'm a huge Batman fan, and I could not care less about the DC cinematic universe.
Yep.
It's not good by and large. There's like a couple good movies, Wonder Woman 1 and Shazam. That's about it.
Aquaman, kind of.
Aquaman, kind of. Birds of Prey is okay, pretty decent.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman 2 is not good. I'm gonna go right out and say it.
2?
Batman...
No, it was 1,984.
Yeah. Batman v Superman, not good. Man of Steel, it spends way too much time on Krypton. We don't need Krypton. Krypton sucks. And he also murders somebody at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Superman does not do that. Yeah, no, and then I didn't even say Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad's probably the worst one.
Yeah, that's like JLU but worse in terms of rewrites and meddling.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna take my time with it, and I'm gonna watch it with my wife and see what she thinks, because she enjoys the Wonder Woman stuff. So, she actually really liked Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 2 up there with Wonder Woman 1, but it just wasn't for me. But yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier is out now. A lot of people were complaining about WandaVision when that came out. I'm complaining about this because I loved WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was one of the best things that Marvel's ever done. It was artistic. It had some real emotion behind it. The stuff that was going on had real consequences to the character. It meant something, and it was clever. It had good dialogue. They did all kinds of different directing styles depending on what era they were mimicking in each episode. I thought that was really, really cool. This was the worst of the Marvel universe, if you ask me. This is when Marvel gets boring and not much happens. That is what happened in the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm gonna keep watching it because I don't judge something just based on one episode alone. I watched all of. If I had watched just the first episode of Picard, I watched Star Trek Picard recently, the first season of that. I would have said it was pretty good. But I got to the end of Picard and I thought it was a travesty.
That's what I've heard.
And I was looking to like it. You know what I mean? I was already. I thought it was pretty good, and it was pretty good in the beginning, and then it fell off a cliff. The second half of the season is just terrible. It had a Deus Ex Machina, and it's not hard to write Picard. All you have to do is make him really good at diplomacy. I mean, just make it so that there is a war situation that he's allowed to talk himself out of, and promote peace, and convince everybody of it. That's what he's good at. That's
what his whole series was in the 90s.
Exactly. That was the whole point. They even made that the point of Star Trek: The Next Generation. It was bookended by that, right? The first and last episode were that. Yeah. It was not good. Falcon and Winter Soldier, this episode was very boring. Not a whole lot going on, and the two main characters have not met yet. They haven't become a team yet. In the show called Falcon and Winter Soldier, they haven't met. They had 50 minutes to do it. They have 50 minutes to meet. You know how long that is in a movie? It's half the movie.
Yeah.
If that happened in a movie, they don't get together until halfway through, people would have a riot. They haven't even gotten together yet.
When are they going to get to the fireworks factory?
There is no fireworks factory, Lotus. That's the problem. There's no fireworks factory. And I can't believe this is real, but Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, and to normal people, that's the fourth movie. It's 4. Is finally out. It is the last Evangelion movie of the rebuild movies, and it had a gigantic box office release. Probably the biggest one of the entire series, and during a pandemic.
Yeah.
People have been waiting for this movie forever. I am not spoiling it for myself because God only knows how they're going to end this series a third time.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah. Do you ever see the Arthur one with the syrup on his hand? It says, "I'm so fucked up."
That's what it was. I'm so fucked up. That's great. That's great.
I think I showed it to you, but you probably just didn't make the connection that it was.
I might not have. Yeah.
It's like Arthur with syrup on his hand.
That's all it is. Oh, whoops! I spilled a little bit. Oh, sorry. I'm so fucked up.
So fucked up. Kids, watch End of Evangelion, the second movie. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I actually haven't seen the third movie, which took forever to come out in the United States. It took a very long time for the third movie. So I think it took something like 3 or 4 years to come to the United States after it came out in Japan. But I love 1 and 2. The second Evangelion rebuild movie is one of my favorite movies. I love it, and that's why I don't want to watch the third one, because the third one, like, apparently the main character Shinji becomes a gigantic piece of shit, like a gigantic one after the second movie. And in the second movie, it probably is the best Shinji's ever been in any of the interpretations of him.
Huh.
So apparently he just becomes a royal piece of shit in the third one. But I'm excited that this project actually finished, like, and that the director got to put it out the way he wanted it to. I mean,
the entire movie is people clapping and saying congratulations.
It's just a lot of that. Congratulations.
Son of a bitch, where does the movie start? Like, credits? Are you fucking kidding me?
Evangelion, for all its shortcomings, also is insanely influential.
Yes.
And there's a reason why we're making fun of it. Like, it is unusual.
The entire movie is a still frame. It's Shinji and Asuka in an elevator. Or Asuka and Rei in an elevator.
It's just a gif of Gendo, Gendo's glasses flickering. That's all it is. Just looking at you very ashamedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can't wait for it. I do really want to see it. I don't want to know what it's about.
It's Shinji standing naked in a way that something large is obstructing him, and the entire movie they keep pulling it away, revealing a smaller object behind it.
Things, like sesame seeds. Eventually,
yeah. Still, really?
Toothpicks was the joke, right?
That was killer. Yeah.
Toothpicks. Yeah, it was like a can of beer, and then they remove it, and it's toothpicks.
Yeah, he's still completely covered with toothpicks. That's great.
Yeah.
How embarrassing!
It's so funny. It's so funny. I don't think there has been another show that has that much disdain for its main character.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah.
Like, he's a piece of shit, and they're letting you know.
Yeah.
And they're also making fun of him. But yeah,
that's the thing. Like, lots of shows have like shitty main characters because they're like bad guys or something. It's not because the show, like, the writer hates him.
Well, I think it's self-loathing. In this case, it's like the main character is the way he is because the world has treated him so terribly.
Yeah, his life sucks. Like, yeah, this did not come from nowhere. His father's fucking Gendo,
who is probably the worst fictional dad that I can think of. Yeah. He's even worse than Darth Vader, because Darth Vader redeems himself.
Well, yeah, Darth Vader never abused his kid because his kid was taken away from him way early.
Darth
Except
Vader,
for when he cut off his fucking hand. Never mind.
Well, Darth Vader also saves Luke in the end. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like Gendo does none of that. He is a piece of shit.
Gendo is like irredeemable.
He's an awful father figure. He is an awful father, and he's also an awful father figure to the other child.
Yeah, Gendo should be paired up with oh no, what was
the worst mothers?
What?
Like Lady Macbeth.
Lady Macbeth would be a fucking contender, but no, I'm flaking on the name, but I'll come back to it.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
I can only think of like the mother. What's her name in Kill la Kill?
Oh, see, I've never seen Kill la Kill.
Yeah, oh boy, she's Mother of the Year. Oh my god. She is a monster.
Isn't she like the
Ragyo Kiryuin, there we go. She is the
isn't she the
fucking devil.
principal of the school or something?
Um, I don't remember, but she is like the head of everything, so possibly. But yeah, she is a nightmare woman. My God.
Oh, speaking of Star Wars, I just real quick gonna throw this out because I did not put this in the notes. But the original Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars is coming to Disney Plus, which I did not.
Yeah,
expect.
that is what the prequel should have been. Like, that is a fantastic show.
It was really, really good, and it hasn't been published since the DVDs. The original.
Yeah, not
DVDs.
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah. And they said it basically wasn't canon, so I did not expect it.
Which is ironic because Grievous coughing the whole way through the third prequel movie is a direct result of what happens in the fucking cartoon. But all right.
Yeah, and also the Star Wars Clone Wars TV show, like the CG one, is completely based off of his art style. But anyway, moving on. Last thing. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Yasuo Otsuka. He was the lead animator of Lupin the Third, The Castle of Cagliostro.
And that was the first. I think it was the first Studio Ghibli movie.
Yes,
and it is gorgeous.
It's one of the most influential animated movies ever made. It's way up there. Huge amount of video games took influence from it, like Castlevania 3, for instance, and on the NES. Like tons of video games and like manga and like Japanese pop culture had been influenced by this specific movie. It's one of the best animated films of all time. It's on Netflix. You can just watch it if you already have Netflix.
It's very, very good.
It is
like if you like Lupin the Third, how about Studio Ghibli animation quality, like movie quality? Like that's peak Lupin right there.
It's one of the most lavishly hand animated movies ever made. It's up there with Akira. It's
right Akira was also incredibly influential, including in the West.
Yeah. This is a huge movie, and you don't even need to know the character because it's just like it's like a big long episode of Lupin the Third.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I didn't know the character.
You don't need
to. It was
to.
just like it's a standalone adventure. It's fine.
Yeah, Lupin the Third is very Monster of the Week, and it doesn't really have an overarching plot, much of one. So like he's stealing stuff. Fujiko might backstab him, and his friends are there.
Yeah, his friends, the samurai and the gunman, whatever you call him.
Well, it would be Goemon.
Goemon's the samurai.
Goemon's the samurai, and
Jigen
Jigen,
what is he? Just the guy with a gun?
Yeah, he's a marksman.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Inspector Zenigata's the police guy who's always like, I'll get you next time. Like, oh, we got to avoid the cops. Get away from Zenigata. Like, he's that guy.
Yeah. He's always there, but he's the bumbling.
Yeah, like you don't want him to catch Lupin, but he's still a lovable character.
Exactly. He's just doing his job.
Like I've mentioned this before, and I think you still haven't seen the movie yet. But like Bloodsport,
I need to see that.
Van Damme is constantly on the run from Forrest Whitaker, and it's like, damn it, Van Damme, like, you're not supposed to be here.
Very slippery.
And like, yeah, it's like Van Damme comically escapes him every time, and you're like, oh, that Forrest Whitaker, like, Zenigata is that guy.
Yeah. So it's a big shame because obviously his work is beloved by many, and the director basically gets all the credit. Miyazaki gets all the credit. So it's nice to know the name of him. I didn't know him until I read about him. So it's really good that he has something like this as big as this as his legacy. He's a lead animator. He drew like all this stuff and all that crazy stuff that happened.
And there's a lot.
And that's all I have. I don't know about you, Lotus, but there just was so much this week. I had to talk about all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But do you have any last minute additions?
Nah, I'm good. Normally, I would throw in a little thing about what I've been playing lately, but like we're pushing an hour and a half.
Yeah, we could through maybe. I hope we have time a little bit later, but on Reactive maybe to talk about it. But,
Corrective.
Or Corrective, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that is the show for this week. Please remember to subscribe to Corrective Consciousness YouTube and SoundCloud pages. While there, please give us thumbs ups, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes. It helps promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement helps keep the show going. You can also catch us on Thursdays for our sister podcast, Corrective Consciousness, where we will continue talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Finally, you can friend me as vysethebold on pretty much anything. Also, send me a DM when you do it, because I don't know who you are. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't like, people have been friending me lately, and I don't know whether they're like scam
mystery
people
person
or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially like on PlayStation Network, there's all kinds of like people like, oh, I need a girl, I need a boyfriend. Can you help me? Like that kind of thing.
Like, yeah, I've gotten the occasional like brought into group chat where it's just a bunch of bullshit.
Exactly.
Like, and I don't mean I don't care about, but I mean like a bot invited like 30 people and everybody immediately leaves the chat.
Yeah, like, oh, for free PSM code or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. Yeah. And your outro here, Lotus.
Sure. So you could follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you are interested in seeing my videos early of a platinum run of Dark Souls 3, getting in an exclusive live streams, I'm currently playing the original Armored Core. Selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play.
That's amazing.
What, the Armored Core?
Yeah.
I'm
excited
is.
for that.
Yep, selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play, and we're kind of getting sort of close to that point now where I'm going to put one of those up. Getting in conversations with me and other patrons on Discord. I was going to say Twitter. On Discord. So consider swinging by my Patreon account, which can be found at patreon.com/LotusPrince.
All right, well, we will see everybody on Thursday then.
Until next time, everyone.
Bye-bye.